look at the Insurrection Act being invoked, all you see is stories by every mainstream media outlet talking about what is it, what is it, what is it? Because they want people to know what it is in advance of them doing it, right? Another form of sigil magic. But they're also giving people, planting seeds in their head for what's about to go down. Because they want them to know about martial law and why we would need it and why it would be important. Because of these crazy damn rioters out there, right? Look at this headline on CNN. FBI warns armed protests are being planned at all 50 state capitals and in Washington, D.C. And I don't care if I get a strike. You know where to find me if I got a strike. They're planning armed protests in all 50 state capitals. Who is planning them? Oh, I'll tell you who. This is coming from within. This is your own government doing this to its own citizens. What do you think? Joe Schmo got together with 10 of his friends, and then they told 10 friends, and they all decided, you know what? I'll risk going to jail for the rest of my life. I'll risk getting shot by the military, and and losing my job and my home or wherever I may live because I love Donald Trump so much. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to grab my gun and I'm going to protest the state capitol. 50 state capitals? Huh? Listen to this. The FBI has received information indicating armed protests are being planned at all 50 state capitals and the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. in the days leading up to President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration on January 20th. This is according to an internal bulletin obtained by CNN. So look at this. Armed protests are being planned in all 50 state capitals from the 16th through the 20th of January and at the U.S. Capitol from the 17th through the 20th as well. The bulletin, which was circulated after rioters stormed the Capitol last week, also suggests that there are threats of an uprising, no pun intended, if President Donald Trump is removed via the 25th Amendment before Inauguration Day. On January 8th, the FBI received information on an identified group calling others to join them in storming state, local, and federal government courthouses and administrative buildings in the event the POTUS is removed. Huh? Oh, so people, I'm sorry, isn't this the same? You can't even post on YouTube, let alone, where are these people posting this, right? And why wouldn't, we hear stories about the government showing up at people's doors if they threaten somebody or say something bad about a president. Oh, and they're monitoring this, and people are like, oh, we're gonna grab our guns and we're gonna go riot and go to the state capitol, and they're not getting arrested? Oh, that's right, because our government's funding it. Why? So they could bring in martial law. Why are they telling you about the Insurrection Act beforehand? Because they want you to be prepared. And who's been saying this? Like I was just saying on my website, who's been saying this for 5 years since I've been on YouTube? A lot of channels would constantly say, they're gonna bring in martial law, be ready, be ready. And I always said, they're going to bring in martial law, but the scary part is these idiots are going to want it. They're going to ask for it. They're going to beg for it. So what did they do? They created a movie. They created a scene. They made the enemy into people like you and me, who are real truthers or awakened people, and they linked us to this retarded movement called QAnon, which we have nothing to be no part of it. But since they believe in conspiracies, now we're linked to them, and we're all conspiracy nuts, and we're all dangerous terrorists, and then they're going to slip in people from the military into their little protests who are going to be violent, who are paid to be there, who are doing their job and rioting and doing all this stuff because it's a government operation to bring in martial law. That's why. And the funny part is these idiots who think we're all crazy, now that everything we're saying is justified, they still think we're crazy. You know why? Because they think that this is in the country's best interest. No freedom of speech. That means no freedom of speech for you either, tubbalards out there who don't like this channel. Don't like people like me. Listen to this crap. The identified group is also planning to storm government offices, including the District of Columbia, and in every state, regardless of whether the state certified electoral votes for Biden or Trump on the 20th of January. Additionally, the FBI is tracking reports of various threats to harm President-elect Joe Biden ahead of the presidential inauguration. Additional reports indicate threats against VP-elect Harris and Speaker Pelosi. Calls for new protests in Washington and states across the country have law enforcement bracing for more possible violence in the days to come. Authorities are preparing for additional personnel to help secure the nation's capital in the coming days, which is the military, of course. Department of Homeland Security told CNN that the breach of the Capitol will sharpen the response of the planning for inauguration. Right? So this is the quote. Now that it happened, people were going to take this much more seriously. So that's why they needed that event to occur at the Capitol Hill. That's why, even though nothing happened, and it was, it was comical. You had a Viking running around. You had all the talking heads on TV Get everybody who's an idiot out there who watches the TV like they're watching their mother or father talk to them. Get them all emotional about this. Oh, it's the worst thing that's ever happened in this country. Oh, yeah? More people die via drunk drivers every day. A lot more. A lot worse things happen every day. Domestic violence, rape. No, because somebody put their feet up on someone's desk.